How's everybody doing? Okay, in this short little tutorial I just want to show you what's common to most model railroaders, or modelers for that matter, is applying decals the way I do it. So as you can see in these two boxcar cases here, they've both been weathered, and then I happen to have some of this acrylic gloss varnish by Vallejo. It's okay. It's acrylic, which is what I like. So you can see the sheen there, right? As opposed to the flat side. So you want to put a glossy coat on there so the decals lay on nice. You don't get the silvering. So I'm only going to do one side of the cars because I only see them on a shelf layout. You only see one side, and so if you want to flip your cars around without any graffiti, then you can still do that, right? Now, speaking of decals, you can see here there were already some decals applied. These I got from, I can't remember the name of them. I think they're a European company. For military modeling and stuff. I don't really like them. They're too transparent. They just go on really dark. That might be desirable in some applications, but I don't care for them much. I was disappointed in them. I can't remember the name of them. You know, they probably apply well over maybe a white background or something, but I would stick to just hand painting them if you like, or with Microscale. I got these three sets, 1, 2, and 3. I just ordered direct from them. I've always been a big fan of Microscale my whole career because they're it when it comes to decals, really. I mean, there are some other secondary market decal producers that are good too, but in this case I'll just stick with Microscale. And as you can see here, there's also two setting solutions. I just want to mention about these briefly. There's Microset and Microscale. I don't normally use Microset. I'll tell you why. It doesn't seem to make any difference in my experience. And I've had instances where when I put this on the model, it leaves a stain on the paint. So I don't have a lot of confidence with this. It might be good in some situations, maybe depending on the gloss coat, but I tend to avoid it. I don't really see a need for it. But this is a must, the Microscale. This is what eventually renders the decal into a type of paint and helps conform into all these particular ribs and details and so on. It works good if you apply it 3 or 4 times between drawing sessions every half hour or so. I find it works really well. And even in this case, when it comes to graffiti, because it doesn't really matter a whole lot, I like to put a bit of Microscale down first, like so, and then here's a decal. I'll just slide into place. Okay, just lay it on like that. Put a nice liberal coat of Microscale over top. I don't want to move it around obviously too much because it'll rip and tear the decal. It softens it, right? This one's already grabbing. It's already coming apart. So that should go down pretty good. Okay, and that's all I do. And in this case here, with the ones that are transparent, I can either leave it or even turn that into rust or paint peeling. You know, like, don't let it go to waste. And you can apply paint to that and rust effect and just work that over, or you can just lay another decal over top. I should probably add this in too. I wouldn't call it a technique, but just another method of application is to sort of try to stay with the decal. You know, grab a coffee or whatever, a beverage, and just relax for an hour or two. And I find it helps a bit when you sort of stab it and work it in a bit too, gently. And even if you do tear, or sometimes, you know, you gotta make a slice somewhere just with a bit of pressure. Knock some of the air bubbles out of there. I mean, it's just graffiti, right? Like, it's a weathered boxcar. I mean, who cares if it's not perfect? Anyway, that's what I do, and it helps the air get out of those pockets. And then more Microscale. Lots of Microscale, that's the trick, right? And then when this dries, you'll see that it starts to shrink and really conform down into the ribs and the details and the highs and the lows. And then you can come back and catch some of the, if there's some air pockets with a knife, just poke her through and flood it with some more Microscale. And just keep working over it, be patient with it. You'll get a really nice decal application. And then when that's done, of course, you can put a wash straight over top of it. Of burnt or raw umber, or you can flat coat it and do a wash, whatever particular layer application you desire. You just put a light wash over that, or you can leave some of them fresh with just a flat coat, because it might be just a fresh graffiti paint on there, right, depending on the period. Okay? Okay, and that's all I do. And in this case here, with the ones that are transparent, I can either leave it or even turn that into rust or paint peeling. You know, like, don't let it go to waste. And you can apply paint to that and rust effect and just work that over, or you can just lay another decal over top. In closing, I need to add this in because it's important. What dull coat does Boomer use for his models? Okay, so I used to use Tester's dull coat. This particular one is clear coat. But I can't get dull coat in Canada that readily anymore. It's just seems harder and harder to get. People seem to be out of stock in it, which is a testimony to a lot of modelers like to use it, or they're just phasing it out. I don't really know. So the equivalent to it, in my experience now, is Tamiya TS80 Flat Clear, which is also a lacquer-based paint. It's not acrylic. But it works equally well, and I know, you know, some really advanced aircraft and ship modelers that are using it, and I asked them the question, would you spray this on your award-winning ship model or aircraft model right before the show? And they all said yes. So I tried it, and I'm confident it works well, okay? So if you can't find Tester's dull coat, I use the Tamiya TS80 Flat Clear to finish my models. Okay, thank you, and I hope you have a great day.